Hi, this is Mark, and welcome to Tea With. And I'm having tea with Jon, and Jon is actually in Seattle, in the US of A. And Jon, why don't you go and introduce yourself to everybody?
All right. Hi, everybody. Whoever's out there. I'm the aforementioned Jon Bartick.
So, Jon, we were having a little talk before, and you were telling me about water. And I really like what you said. So you want to, describe a little about water and its affecting your life?
Uh, yeah, I think it's definitely had an effect slash impact. I guess there must be some allure to it for me because by the time I was 23 until now at 45, I've lived really very, very, very close to large bodies of water, with the exception of a 3 year stint where I was back in Indiana. But for a big, big part of my life, I've been very close to water. So yeah, that there's obviously some allure, some attraction. I definitely like having water around. I like seeing water. I like getting near it, smelling it. So for whatever that's worth.
Well, it is very relevant. And also, we were talking about, a little about healing.
Healing.
And do you mind going into that a little bit more?
Uh, okay. I think it really started, as I said, in Florida in late 90s. We were introduced to naturopathic doctors who just were outside the box thinkers and just had different approaches to healing, I guess, more holistic views rather than just let's mask your symptoms, but let's really get to the root of why you're having the symptoms you're having. And that kind of just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed, and it's continued out here in Seattle where it's a lot more prevalent. The naturopathic, if that's the right word, uh, approach out here is very, very, very common. So I I go on a fairly regular basis to a acupuncturist and someone who does acu ortho excuse me chiropractic work, but not like the manual adjusting. I'm not paying somebody to give me whiplash. It's more of a kinesiology type chiropractic work, and uh, and then at the acupuncturist, there's oftentimes herbs that are incorporated into your healing. You know, if you're dealing with certain symptoms.
Jon,
Yeah.
I really like this conversation because you know what? Something I was reading that came up a lot is heart. What is heart? Like, why is it so relevant to you?
Heart.
Heart.
Why is it so relevant to me?
Yeah.
Oh man. Um, I guess it's. I don't think. Well, I'm not speaking literally, but figuratively, I guess. Without it, I don't know that you get great rewards in your life without heart. Again, not literally.
What about love? Because that comes up a lot for you too, right? Love?
Uh, yeah, I would say it does. Sure.
In what in what respect?
Uh, Gosh, I think I've got a lot of it in my life, which is great. I've got a lovely, lovely wife of 23 years this coming September, so 22 and a half years. And surrounded by a lot of love with kids and family and coworkers and business partners. And I don't know what it, so how is it relevant to me? It's, I think, I mean, I think it's absolutely super, super critical. I don't think without the ability to love, man, I don't know. I don't know how much you get out of life. Clearly, I think it's been the driver for me in just living a fulfilling life, I think.
Wow, John, this is awesome. I'm actually having a couple of tea. And another word that's come up a lot too, John, and I know it definitely relates to you. That word is compassion.
When you say these words come up, where do they come up?
From talking to you.
From talking to me?
Yes.
Really? You mean without, even if I don't actually say the word, somehow you're getting those words?
Yes.
Ah, wow. Interesting. What is it? What is to your right?
I'm just reading like some things here and getting my questions to ask.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious what you kept looking at. All right. Um, so compassion.
So let me just there's a flow here, as you can tell. There's heart, there's love, there's compassion, all leading to something here.
Okay. So
Plus, you moved thousands of miles to Seattle, be around water again.
yeah, I don't. I think there were many factors that led to that move. I'm gonna now. I would go off on a whole different tangent if I probably started to talk about about what led to that move, because it was more than there were family reasons, obviously, but there was I think a real interest in seeing a different slice of life, and having my kids see a different slice of life. They knew nothing other than South Florida, which is great. We had a great time there, but I just wanted them to see that there's a different way to live that's out there, just a different way to approach everyday life, approach people, the way you think about the world we live in, how you look at green approaches to things. There's many. The differences between here in South Florida, we could do a whole 30-minute talk about that, I'm sure.
Compassion.
But I digressed a bit. So you said compassion. I don't compassion. What does actually that mean? What does that word mean? Really, I'm going to sound ignorant. I'm not sure if I mean, I think I have an idea, but and maybe it means something different to everybody.
As it relates to you.
But what is the word compassion? Does that mean having passion for something?
Yes.
Huh. That's interesting because I've talked about that at different times throughout my life with people about as it relates to work, career. If you can find something you're really passionate about, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And I absolutely, truly, really enjoy what I do. I do. I don't know if I have compassion for it. I think I have compassion to Oh man, I don't know, Mark. Um, Compassion, to have passion. That's awful.
How about the word divine? Does
Divine,
divine have any relevance to you?
divine. Oh,
Divine love.
divine love. I don't even know what that means. Divine love. Is that, I'm not sure if I know what that means.
Or the word divine.
Again, I'm showing my some of my ignorance with the mastery of the language. So divine. What? I don't know if I know what it means.
Well, if you could interpret it, what would it be interpreted as?
Um, hmm. Man, I don't know. You got me there. I'm kind of stumped.
How about abundance? How can you tie compassion, love, heart to abundance?
I guess one kind of begets all of them, or begets the other. If you have an abundance of heart, you'll have an abundance of compassion, an abundance of love. Um, Wait, what was the word again? Is it abundance? Is that what we're on?
We're
Sorry.
in abundance, but divine is behind there somewhere.
Divine. Divine.
Divine love, divine energy, abundance. There's a flow to everything that we're talking about here, which makes this conversation pretty relevant to while we're here and stuff. You said that you have to enjoy and love what you do. Work isn't like work anymore, right? You made a transition in your life, right?
Yep. Well,
What what did it take? Divine?
the transition from moving across the country.
No, your professional transition.
Oh, professional transition. I did. Yeah, that's true. I did. What did that take? You know, I guess it took courage, conviction, belief. I don't know where divine fits in there, man. I don't know. I'm having struggling with this divine word, I guess.
What about chakras? Do you believe in chakras at all, or attuned to chakras?
I don't know what. I'm not sure if I'm. I don't know. I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about. I mean, I've heard it. I've heard the word for sure. I just don't know if I know.
What have you heard about chakras?
Mm, Maybe as it relates to, is it to yoga? Maybe is that where I've heard it? I don't remember. I know I've heard the word. Not sure I know what it means. What they are.
Okay. Because just asking you questions. We're having a good little talk over here. And what about like acceptance? And does acceptance have any relevance to you at all?
Acceptance. Um, does it have any relevance? Well, I mean, yeah, I would say I'm sure it does. Acceptance amongst my family, my friends, my peers, my coworkers, people that I interact with during the day. I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty natural to want to be accepted. Yeah, I think, at least to me, versus not wanting acceptance.
How about scarcity? Has scarcity been, anything that, you experienced in the past?
Scarcity. Yeah, I would say so. When Laura and I were first married, we were living fairly scarce, and we had pretty good challenges as far as having enough money to do anything beyond just the very, 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 very basics. Now we were fortunate enough to do that, but not without assistance. We had to have assistance to do that. So we kind of had to adjust the way we did things and looked at things. And I think that kind of established a little bit of a humbleness in us, a groundness, if you will.
Do you think there's a consciousness associated with scarcity consciousness? And do you think there's consciousness associated with abundance consciousness? And if so, experiencing scarcity, how did you make that shift?
That was a lot of questions there. Go through that again.
All right, so we're talking about scarcity, right?
Yeah.
And, so do you think or believe that there is a consciousness associated with scarcity, like a scarcity consciousness? If someone has scarce thoughts, that they're going to beget scarcity in their life, so they're going to be experiencing scarcity.
Oh yeah, I do.
And abundance, do you think that same thing occurs? And if so, because you said that you experienced scarcity at a certain point, so it's consciousness. How did you make that shift to the abundance?
I do think that there is a correlation. If you have abundant thoughts, that I think you'll get abundance from the universe. Conversely, scarce thoughts, getting scarcity. I do believe that, absolutely. And that's a big part of kind of everything for me. I don't know if I can remember consciously making the decision that, hey, I'm going to start thinking in abundance so it comes to me. I don't know that I ever did. I don't know that I didn't. I don't know that I did. But I'll credit a lot of that to my business partner, Michael, who Michael Magahi. Really, just that whole idea of putting out into the universe what you want to get back. And I know he had people he learned it from, right? I mean, just teachers and coaches and mentors along the way. But so yes, I do believe that there's a direct relation. I don't know if I ever can remember actually making that decision subconsciously, or consciously. It just, I don't know how. It was so long ago. I don't know how it happened. Maybe I kind of just had an expectation in my mind that I was going to have a certain lifestyle or certain things around me, and it just kind of happened.
John, this has been a great, great conversation. I'm really having a great time. I hope you're having a good time also.
That's good.
So,
All right.
are you feeling good flow? Let me ask you a question because you said it. The word trust. What does that mean for you?
What does the word trust mean for me? God, it means a lot, I guess. I don't know, that I like to trust that people in general are trustworthy, and if you kind of have the approach toward, again, life just out there, just toward the universe with trust, I just think you'll see that come back. So I don't know what the word means to me. It means many different things. I guess it depends on the context of which in which you're talking about it.
Trust that the universe will provide all that one needs.
Trust that the universe will provide all that one needs.
Yes.
And are you asking if I believe that or if I feel that way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's out there. I just think you have to find a way to bring it from the universe to you.
Why does divine come up a lot? You have to look. You have to look into that.
Where is it coming up? Oh, it's coming up. Just you're getting it. You're from our
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, I'm getting divine a lot from you, and there's trust. Trust comes up a lot. Did you ever experience this? Did you ever experience any of these feelings of unworthiness, fear of scarcity, and abandonment?
Well, I talked about the scarcity issue when we were, when Laura and I were sort of early on getting started. So I certainly had feelings of it then. Um, so yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Very interesting. You know, I'm going to read to you an affirmation, okay? And I'll read it maybe a couple times so you can think about it. And if it has any relevance to you, please share about it, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. Through love and compassion, all things are healed and blessings flow freely. I'll say it again. Through love and compassion, all things are healed and blessings flow freely.
Okay.
You mind to share about that?
I don't know. You kind of got me at a loss there. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know what to say. I mean,
Does it ring to you?
say it again. Read it one more time.
Yeah. Through love and compassion, all things are healed and blessings flow freely. So it's love and compassion.
Hmm. Those have got to be some pretty strong things, huh? Love and compassion.
Some powerful stuff. What about gratitude? Gratitude in there?
Yeah, I think gratitude needs to be in there. Sure. Yeah.
I'd say that what I read really pretty much describes you in a way. And you're a grateful guy too, right?
I absolutely like to think I am. Yes.
Well, John, again, you had no idea what you're getting into, and I'm very, happy to have you. I enjoy working with you and everything. And before we close off, there's somebody watching us, and it could be someone that you know, or maybe someone you don't know, and it probably could be live, or maybe it could be a recorded version. It could be taking place 10 years from now, or maybe tomorrow, or next week, or next year. And it's absolute stranger is probably watching, or someone that you know is watching. What advice would you tell someone that wants to make a career shift when they don't have any idea what to do?
Oh, wow. They want to make a career shift, but they have no idea what they want to do. Don't make a career shift. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Gosh, I guess you gotta. Oh, yeah, that's tough, man. I mean, I'm just trying to think when I made a career shift.
Would you mind sharing from what profession to what profession so everybody knows?
I was working in the financial services industry. It was for a firm that was buying and selling options on futures. So trading options contracts on commodities, gasoline, grains, metals, currencies. So it was I'm sorry?
You a trader?
Kind of. And I wasn't physically buying and selling the commodities. I wasn't doing the trading. I had a book of clients that were wanting to invest a small portion of their money into a high risk investment. So I made the switch from there into recruiting. And I think after 7.5 years on the commodities side, I just got burnt. It was a pretty transactional business, very transactional. Not a lot of long-term relationship building. Just you're doing a lot of work to have relationships that go fast because the duration of the investments was very, very, very short-lived. So I just wanted something longer term, wanted something with more of a long outlook, something you could do for years and years and years and not stress yourself out too badly, and just be able to have a better work-life balance, because that was a very, very odd-hour job. Because if you're trading currencies around the world, it was very different. So I guess my advice would be just try to find something that you think fits what's important to you or fits into the lifestyle you want. Figure out what lifestyle you want, and then figure out a way to get that lifestyle versus building a lifestyle around what you may have at that moment. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's wonderful advice to give anybody. Look, you made it because there's no real correlation between working a trading desk and recruiting, right?
True.
So I just want to say, listen, I really enjoyed this cup of tea, and it was awesome. I think that, if you do hit a replay or whatever, I think you'd be pretty impressed as well. And it's been a great pleasure having you on board. You want to say goodbye to everybody?
Adios, everybody.